Oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about today, guys. CPI data, IBM stock, which is tanking, seeing their worst day since 1987. We're talking, what, 40 years now, guys? And we're going to go over some bank earnings and the overall market, which, as of now, every index but the Dow is in the green. So guys, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, join my Patreon if you want to keep up with my actual portfolio updates, my trades, investments, and if you want to be a part of my private Discord, all that's linked down below, pinned in the comments, or go to stotsurfest.com/Patreon. And now, cheers, take a sip of your coffee, guys, and let's dive into it. So, it is about noon, about 12:30 actually, here on the East Coast. And again, every index but the Dow is in the green. The Dow's down not much really, just 0.25%, as the S&P is up about 0.25%. The Qs are up 1%, and the Russell's up just about 0.5%, as Bitcoin's going up. Oil's creeping up, both Brent and WTI, and the metals are moving as well. Both gold and silver, they are in the green right now, so pretty risk on day. And this comes after we got a pretty favorable reading this morning on the CPI. We'll cover that here in a second, and you guys can see the Qs popped at about 8:30 a.m., a good chunk right after that CPI data came out, and they've been coasting quite nicely since that point. You guys can see here, once the CPI came out, the Q shot from around 716 all the way to 723, and the S&P 500, pulling up SPY, this went from around, 748 all the way to 754. And the main fear around rates, inflation right now, CPI, right? The main fear is that we're going to get rate hikes, right? We're going to get, a bunch of hikes here because of the conflict in the Middle East. Oil's going up, inflation's going up. Or is it? We'll see here in a second. And that's been the main fear. And the print today showed us that, well, the numbers came in a little better than expected, and maybe a rate hike, maybe we're not going to get as many as we originally thought. Maybe a rate cut is back on the table, potentially, right? I mean, we need more data. We're not 100% there in either direction yet, but today's print gave the market, gave the bulls some hope. Let me actually pull this up right now. Bear with me, guys, and I'll show you the actual numbers quickly. Then we'll talk about some stocks, what the heck is going on with IBM, as their stock's down 25% today, and that's the worst day for the stock in about 40 years. 40. Think about that. So we can see right here, if I zoom in, core CPI came in at 0 on the monthly number, right? And they were expecting 0.2% for this monthly core CPI number, right? And previously, last month, it was 0.2%. And this shows the change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers, less food and energy. So not including food and energy, excluding food and energy. So that came in at 0. Again, the estimate was 0.2%. That's good. It came in under the estimate. That's what we want with these CPI readings. And the core CPI, the yearly number, also came in under. It came in at 2.6% versus last month's 2.9%. And the forecast had the CPI at 2.8%, guys. So we're talking a very nice beat on the core, both monthly and on the yearly number, and the headline number came in at minus 0.4% for CPI, the overall CPI. And the forecast had it going down 0.1%, but again, it went down 0.4%. That's a very good beat on the overall CPI. And last month, it was at 0.5%. Think about that. it went from 0.5% last month to now minus 0.4%, almost a 1% drop month over month on that monthly CPI number. And the yearly number came in at 3.5%. The forecast had it at 3.8%. And previously last month, it was 4.2%. So phenomenal reading across the board, right? Core, both the monthly and the yearly. The headline CPI, monthly and yearly, great readings. We beat across the board. And again, that's not going to push the Fed to cut rates tomorrow. I mean, we need more data, but it's showing us that we're going in the right direction. You know, inflation's not running rampant, running wild again this month. It actually pulled back, and it pulled back pretty significantly. So we actually might be getting more rate cut discussions here sooner rather than later, especially if we have a string of CPI numbers that look like they did today. We'll see. You know, one could hope. The bulls could hope that happens and we actually get some rate cuts. You know, that's what the bulls want at this point in time. So, with that being said, the market, it's not a booming green day. I mean, we're now down over 0.25% on the Dow. The S&P is now up 0.16%, so it's not up that much. Qs are up 1%, so great day for the Qs. But it's not a booming green day, but this could easily build or we could start to see green days start stacking, if you know what I mean, based on a print like this, based on a reading like this. This could have a longer lasting effect on the market, not just, you know, a short blip green day like today. This could cause more green, in my humble opinion. So let's talk about IBM. My goodness, guys, IBM is down 25% on the day. And let me tell you, I dodged a bullet here. We talked about IBM at 280 a couple weeks ago when it was trading at, honestly, 270, 280. And we talked about it, and I said, I'm looking to trade IBM. I never took the trade, and I watched it go to 300, and I was like, oh man, I should have took the trade. And quite honestly, I would have locked in profits. I don't think I would have held IBM till today. You know, if I did take that trade, I would have sold at 295, 300, knowing myself, knowing, you know, how I stick to my targets when I'm buying, when I'm selling. Look, the target here was 300, 295. I would have sold out. But if I held it, man, holy smokes. This is if I bought it and held it, I would have lost a ton of money. You know, this thing is down to 218 right now. And again, we were talking about it at 270, 280. So this is down 25% on the day. And the $1 million question is, why? Well, it's all about preliminary earnings, and the preliminary earnings, came in worse than expected. Essentially, they're issuing a warning saying, look, market, look, investors, look, everybody, right? We're not going to have that great of a quarter coming up, and we want to tell you now before the actual earnings come out on the 22nd of July. So they gave us a warning, and the numbers aren't that much worse than what analysts are expecting, but it's still a shock because investors were not expecting this. You know, they weren't expecting the weakness in software and the infrastructure business, and what the market doesn't like is uncertainty, things that come out of left field, and they got spooked. So we can see here they're on their way to their worst day. They're on pace for the worst day since October 1987, when the shares fell 23.7%. We actually were down 26% at one point, so we already beat that, you know. But I guess they closed 23.7% down on October 19th, 1987. So for us to beat that, we have to close worse than that. But either way, it's the worst day in 40 years for IBM stock. And This is all because, again, of their preliminary earnings. The tech company reported adjusted EPS of $2.93 a share on revenue of $17.2 billion, well below the estimates, at least for revenue, of $17.86 billion and EPS of $3 and a penny. So it's not devastating. It's not the end of the world, but it did come out of left field and the market doesn't like it. But it's better than not giving us preliminary earnings, going right into the report, and then putting this bombshell on us, right? And that would cause the stock to go down even more. Now that we got this news a week before earnings, the market can kind of digest it. And by the time earnings actually come around and we get that earnings call, maybe we get a relief rally, potentially. If we get some more clarity in the call, this, that, and the third, right, that could cause the stock to maybe start to rebound a bit. But for now, it's in complete falling knife mode. It's in complete shock mode. And it's not liking what the CEO said. The CEO of IBM said, in the last few weeks of June, we saw clients shift their quarterly CapEx spend towards servers, storage, and memory purchases to secure supply-constrained infrastructure ahead of expected price increases, right? So that's actually great for memory stocks, GPU names. A lot of these are actually moving today, and software is doing quite the opposite. He said, the CEO, while we anticipated some supply chain related impact in our expectations, we did not anticipate the magnitude of the CapEx reprioritization. They didn't expect it, and this is coming out of left field, which again, the market wasn't pricing it in. Didn't realize it. So yeah, more money's going to memory, more money's going to infrastructure, and it kind of makes sense considering the supply constraints, right? And we can see these conditions, the IBM CEO added, require our teams to execute perfectly. No kidding, right? And this quarter, we faltered, he said. We did not adapt and move quickly enough, and numerous large deals failed to close on the timelines we expected, driving the majority of our shortfall. So at least the CEO is upfront about it. He's showing accountability for the company. They're not blaming it on AI or not blaming it on, this, that, whatever, right? Sometimes CEOs push the blame off. They, don't take accountability. And in this case, IBM CEO saying, look, we did not adapt and move quickly enough, and numerous large deals failed to close on the timelines. And he's owning up to it. I actually respect that, and I think that's a great way to manage a business and to really come forward when things aren't going as planned or something comes out of left field. And yeah, at this point, it all comes down to the earnings call. What happens on that call? What IBM has to say for themselves. And yeah, memory names have been beneficiaries of this AI build out, and more CapEx is being, put towards those companies. And IBM did not account for this reprioritization in the CapEx. And we can see now the stock. The million-dollar question is it time to buy? For me, guys, look, I'm not saying it's a bad buy, not saying you should avoid it. All I'm saying is it's a falling knife. There's no rush. I much rather wait until earnings actually come out, we get the actual earnings call, and then we can decide. That's what I'm doing, right? As of now, we're trading at multi-month lows. We're actually testing the multi-month support, rather, at about 210, 215, and it is holding right now, but that's not guaranteed to hold for the next couple of days. So I'm going to wait on IBM. I'm going to let the dust settle. I love saying that. Let the dust settle, and we'll go from there on IBM. And thank God I didn't take that trade, man. I would have locked in gains already, knowing myself, but, this would have been a nasty day holding IBM. So another stock I'm watching before we talk about some earnings here, guys, CrowdStrike. What did I say? A couple weeks ago? CrowdStrike, once that split happens, the stock's probably going to go up more. And here we are, guys. CrowdStrike, they did their split. The stock was at $185, $185. Now we're at 207, completely ripping. And this chart shows potentially more upside. You guys see right here the cup, the handle. We're about to test 210, 208, big resistance. If that breaks, guys, more upside ahead for CrowdStrike. So keep your eyes on that one. Quick little call out there on CrowdStrike, guys. And JPM, bank stocks are crushing it, guys. JP Morgan hit a fresh high, I believe an all-time high today. Yeah, all-time high today for JP Morgan, and this is after they reported earnings. Let's run through these earnings very quickly here, guys. Earnings per share came in at where the heck is it? Can I find it? Am I blind? What's going on here, guys? They posted earnings per share of $7.70 that beat the $5.59 expectation. Holy smokes, what a beat there on the bottom line. What about revenue, though? Revenue. Why is it hard to find this right now, guys? What's going on? Looks like net revenue came in at $57.35 billion versus $51 billion expected. So massive double beat out of JP Morgan, guys. No wonder why they're hitting all-time highs. And for me, my play in the bank space right now, even though I'm not in it yet, but I'm eyeing it up, XLF. What have I said about XLF, guys? I think a breakout's coming. We have a clear ascending triangle. We're testing the highs from January right now, about $56, $57. I think there's a good chance we break through here and we get a leg up on XLF. The 3-year chart shows it, right? The max chart shows it. We're due for a breakout on this thing, and I think it's now about to be there, especially with these massive beats from JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. Let me pull Goldman Sachs up. They're up 7%, guys. Big move. They're also hitting all-time highs, completely taking out the highs from a couple months ago. Goldman Sachs reported earnings per share. Let's see here, ladies and gentlemen. $20.98, which beat the $14.40 expected. What are these analysts smoking, man? Are they sandbagging earnings? I don't know what's going on. So they beat EPS by $6, right? Sales came in at $20.33 billion versus $16.12 billion. So they beat sales by over $4 billion. These companies are crushing it. It makes sense why they're all running. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Bank of America. Let's see this one, guys. BAC is the ticker. 2% Green Day. All-time high for Bank of America here, and that's after, I'm assuming, they crushed earnings as well. I forget. I looked at them this morning. Let me double check. Yeah, there you go. EPS $1.21 versus $1.13 expected on sales of $31.5 billion versus $30.74 billion expected. So great double beat. Not as crazy of a beat as Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, but they're right there. Bank of America's right there. And it also hit all-time high. So these bank stocks, guys, crushing it. Wells Fargo, I think, reported today. Theirs is actually down. Morgan Stanley, they're coming up soon here. So again, I can't say it enough. XLF is my play here. When I don't want to go and pick an individual stock in a particular sector, the best way to play it is with a broad-based ETF in that sector. And this one, again, is a financial ETF, XLF. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Crazy, crazy day, man. CPI came out, which shows us a great reading, shows us that, hey, rate hikes might not be on the table. We might be due for cuts, especially if we get a couple of months in a row of CPI looking like that. And IBM, talk about a crash, guys, and hopefully buyers come in at about 210, 215, but it's too soon to tell. So crazy day, earnings season's here. I'm excited, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, join my Patreon if you want to keep up with my portfolio updates, my trades, investments, and if you want to be a part of my private Discord, all that's linked down below, pinned in the comments, or go to Stasser cfs.com/Patreon. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in there. Have a great rest of your day.